Turkey has always been a titan in global tourism, right? But now it's making a huge bet on a totally new kind of future. We're talking one that's greener, smarter, and way more valuable. So let's get into it. This is a deep dive into Turkey's massive plan to completely transform its tourism industry. And this is the number that's at the heart of everything. $100 billion. I mean, that's a staggering amount of money. And that's the tourism revenue Turkey is shooting for by 2028. It's a goal that really sets the stage for what is, essentially, a tale of two very different strategic plans.
You know, this level of ambition isn't exactly new for Turkey. This is really just the latest chapter in a long, long history of strategic thinking, all laid out in these official government roadmaps they call development plans. So what are these plans? Well, think of them like the country's official playbook. They're these super detailed, multi-year documents that map out the vision and the specific policies for every big part of the economy. And tourism, it's been a star player in these plans for decades.
And this has been a long time coming. The strategic planning for tourism started way back in the 60s, then it went global in the 80s, and just exploded in the 2000s when Turkey really hit the map as a top destination. All of that history has led us right here, to this moment, where the focus is shifting in a really big way.
All right, so to really understand where Turkey is going, we've got to look at where it's just been. So let's take a look at the scorecard for the last strategy, the 11th Development Plan, which ran from 2019 to 2023. And that plan was incredibly ambitious. It set some seriously high targets for the country. So the big question is, after a pretty wild few years, how did it actually stack up against those goals?
And here we go. These are the official results, straight from the source analysis. This table is basically the report card for Turkey's tourism strategy over the last 5 years. Let's break down what these numbers are really telling us.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. It's a totally mixed result. On one hand, you see the big headline numbers, total revenue and total number of visitors. They missed their targets. But look closer. Spending per visitor and revenue per night, they didn't just hit the goal, they blew past it. So here's the key takeaway. Fewer people came, but the ones who did come spent more money. Of course, we have to remember the giant elephant in the room, the COVID-19 pandemic. That made reaching those original targets almost impossible. So the final verdict on the 11th plan is, it's a mixed bag. It fell short on quantity, but it kind of accidentally succeeded on quality. And that, right there, turned out to be a really important lesson. Which brings us to the new strategy. The 12th Development Plan for 2024 to 2028 isn't just more of the same, it's a direct response to the lessons they just learned with a completely fresh vision for the future. And you can see the strategic pivot right here. The old plan, it was all about more visitors, more revenue. The new plan is all about better. The focus has completely shifted to things like sustainability, digital tech, service quality, and creating higher value experiences. It's a full-on move from quantity to quality. This new vision is built on these 5 pillars. It's about becoming a leader in green tourism, using tech to make the visitor's journey smoother, and really branding the country as a top spot for specialized things like health and wellness, incredible food, and authentic cultural experiences. So how are they going to pull this off? Well, the strategy is pretty clear. First, go after travelers who care about sustainability and have more to spend. Second, use technology for everything, from booking your trip to what you do when you're there. Third, go deep on those niche markets. And finally, invest in people, better training to deliver truly world-class service. So all of this leads to a pretty fundamental question. What does this new blueprint actually mean for the future of travel in Turkey? And, for anyone who's thinking about visiting? This quote from the analysis really just nails the whole idea. The belief is that in today's world, being a top travel destination isn't just about having beautiful beaches anymore. It's about being smart, being responsible, and being sustainable. So here's the bottom line for you, the traveler. Your experience in Turkey is probably going to change. You can expect to see more eco-friendly hotels, smarter apps to help guide your journey, and a much bigger emphasis on really rich experiences, like cooking classes, wellness retreats, and historical tours that go way beyond the typical sun and sand vacation. That $100 billion goal is ambitious, for sure, but the vision behind it is even bolder. The question isn't just about hitting a number anymore. It's about a total transformation. So will this big pivot from quantity to quality actually succeed in making Turkey a world leader in the future of travel? I guess only time will tell.